Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, April 10th, 2025. I am Annika Spalding, the Community Relations Director here at the Amarillo Little Theater. And this is Thursdays at 3, where I go live every Thursday to get you caught up on what's happening this week at ALT. This season, Thursdays at 3 is very generously sponsored by our friends at Brick and Elm Magazine, Amarillo's premier lifestyle magazine. Every single issue of Brick and Elm is packed with fantastic articles written by local contributors and will keep you up to speed on all things Amarillo. You can grab their March, April issue on newsstands right now, or better yet, I think you should head over to their website at brickandelm.com to subscribe. And in case you missed it, last Thursday, ALT announced the lineup of shows for our 98th season. As you can see, it is a season of massive shows, so you'll want to get your season tickets. These shows will sell out, but members will have the opportunity to get their tickets in advance of the general public. Season tickets will go on sale on Monday, April 14th at 10 a.m., and you can purchase those tickets by heading over to our website at amarillolittletheater.org or calling our box office at 806-355-9991. The Academy also announced their season, including Something Rotten, which of course we all knew about already, Junie B. Jones in Jingle Bells, Batman Smells, and The Prince of Egypt. Such a great season for the Academy. And if you have 60 seconds, just 60 seconds, we could really use your help. Please fill out our Showtime survey. Currently, ALT's Friday and Saturday shows begin at 8 p.m. We want you to vote on whether or not you want those shows to begin at 7:30 p.m. or continue with 8 p.m. Current volunteers should have received an email with the link last week from Lissa, and we also posted it on the ALT Warriors Facebook page. If you're not currently on the ALT Warriors Facebook page, just search for it on Facebook and request to be added, and we will add you to that list. We post all kinds of volunteer opportunities and things going on at ALT on that page, so you'll want to be a part of that. But that link is posted on that ALT Warriors Facebook page. We want to listen to our volunteers and patrons, so this is your chance to make your voices heard. If you want to just continue all of our evening shows or start our evening shows at 7:30 p.m., just like the Academy shows and Thursday nights, instead of Fridays and Saturdays being at 8 p.m. Okay, tickets for 33 Variations are on sale to the public, and tonight is preview night. Don't forget, tickets to tonight's show are buy one, get one free, and students are always buy one, get one free. You will not want to miss this thought-provoking play exploring the intricate connection between the past and present. To purchase your tickets, you can call our box office once again at 806-355-9991 or head over to our website at amarillolittletheater.org. And don't forget to check out our ALT library program, where cardholders can check out tickets to see ALT shows just like you check out books, and totally for free. Tickets for 33 Variations are currently available for checkout, and a limited number of seats are available for the performances tonight, Thursday, April 10th, and Sunday, April 13th. Do not miss out on this incredible production. And volunteers, while we're talking about 33 Variations, we need your help with ushering in concessions for the show. I can't share links on Thursdays at 3, but check out our social media and the ALT Warriors page for the Sign Up Genius link if you can help us out. Or you can contact our volunteer coordinator, Lissa Guerin, if you're interested in helping out with ushering in concessions. You can do so by emailing her at the email address you see on your screen, or by heading over, calling our box office at 806-355-9991. There will also be, I know there's just a million things happening at ALT all the time. You guys know this by now. There will also be a build call for Dreamgirls this Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Alan Schenkel's main stage. Noah will be focusing on the build for Dreamgirls, and we'll need 2 to 3 builders to join him. The snow kept people away last Saturday, so anyone who can give even an hour, we would really appreciate it. And if you come to work call on Saturday and would like to stay for lunch, please contact our volunteer coordinator, Lissa Guerin, once again by emailing her or calling her at the box office and RSVP so that she can get an accurate head count for lunch. Let's keep it going. Congrats to the cast and crew of Amarillo Opera's Cruzar la Cara de la Luna that performed at the GNC last Saturday. It was an absolutely brilliant production. I cannot say that enough. And ALT was beautifully represented by Jason Crespin, Luke Vasquez, Gabe Sherman, and Nels Bjork. Special thanks to Meredith Vasquez for these photos. So great. And why don't we go ahead and watch Jason and Luke's bow together? Meredith posted this video as well. I just love that. And I have to say, it was really, really great to see our very own Jason Crespin back on the stage performing again. So Jason, whatever you can do, I know you're spread so thin, but we really, really loved seeing you on that stage. Congratulations to everybody involved. We're so, so happy for you. And you guys really represented ALT in a brilliant, brilliant way. It was so great to see. But let's talk about ALT Academy summer camps. Registration will not happen until May, but on our website, you can view all the available camps and pricing for this summer so that you can go ahead and make your vacation plans. Just head over to AmarilloLittleTheater.org and click on Academy, then scroll down to Get Involved, and you will see our summer camp schedule. Your kids will not want to miss out on all the fun stuff Mr. Harrison has in the works for them this summer. Of course, if you have any questions about camps, you can call our box office at 355-9991, or you can email Academy Director Harrison Stringer at harrison@AmarilloLittleTheater.org. I'm sure he would be thrilled to answer any questions you have. And I would love for you to advertise your local business in ALT's Playbill. Here's a list of our current Playbill advertisers, and we would love to add your business to this list. Our Playbill is seen by over 30,000 patrons every single season between our main stage and Adventure Space productions, and our ad prices have not gone up from last year, I'm proud to say. The revenue the theater receives from our Playbill plays a very big part in our annual budget and is a great way to support ALT. For more information on how you can advertise in our Playbill, you can email me at Annika at AmarilloLittleTheater.org. Here's our current Playbill for our 97th season. It's a really great way to advertise your local business, your organization, whatever you've got going on. So if you would like to be added to that list of Playbill advertisers, shoot me an email and I will be happy to send you all of the information you need for that. That deadline is fast approaching, May 1st, so you want to get your contracts in ASAP. Let's keep it moving with our Volunteer of the Week. All right, this week we have a quadruple Volunteer of the Week because that's how great ALT's volunteers are. Congratulations to Ann Langford, Laura Jo Worsham, Susan Johnson, and Melanie Sanders. These amazing women normally feed our volunteers at Saturday work calls, which in and of itself is such a fantastic way to volunteer for ALT. But Saturday's winter storm meant that people stayed home from work call, and these lovely ladies brought the tech team lunch anyway, even in the weather. So they braved the weather to feed our guys, and we're very, very grateful for that. So congratulations to all four of you. We're so grateful for everything that you do for ALT. Even when it's unseen, it's actually seen and appreciated. We're very, very grateful for our volunteers. Okay, let's have some breaking Broadway news. All right, original Wicked the Musical stars Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel reunited during the curtain call of Redwood on Broadway to sing For Good from Wicked to raise money for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. Here are some snaps from that incredible event. It's really cool to see them reunited. And tickets are now on sale for the Tony Awards hosted by Cynthia Erivo. The Tony Awards have released a limited amount of tickets to this year's ceremony, starting at the low, low price of $719.80. So if anyone's interested, there you go. You're welcome. You heard it here first. Okay, I would like to now welcome my very special guests, Director of 33 Variations, Callie Hisek, and cast member Stephen Crandall. Hello, my friends.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is so great to talk to you guys. You two are both professors at the WTAMU Theater Department. So I'm particularly excited to chat with you about this show because I know how much you love and adore theater, and we'll have so much to say. So I'm very, very excited about this interview. Callie, let's start with you. Can you tell us about your position at WT and also tell us a little bit about 33 Variations?
Yeah, I am an associate professor of theater here and the program coordinator for theater. I direct some shows here. I teach an assortment of classes and advise and things. About the show, oof. I don't know.
How do you condense that, really?
You can't.
Yeah.
I think that Moises Kaufman, the playwright, did a phenomenal job of finding heart and heartache, the struggles of what it means to be human, immortal, how you can also leave a lasting impression. but also family, and where you can find family and where you can find support. And so it's beautifully woven together using the variations that Beethoven wrote on Diabelli's Waltz, the 33 of them. There are 33 scenes in this show.
Oh,
We get to
wow.
hear all of the variations as well as the theme. And when you read the script, and when we've been working in rehearsals, it's reading the script is one thing, adding these amazing and talented actors is something else. And then when Jim comes in, who is our pianist, Jim Garner, and live playing the variations, this is when I say Moises Kaufman knew what he was doing, because the piano and the music are a whole other character that gets added. And I think hearing the music and then watching our performers, when they hear the music, it took their performance to a whole different level, because it's there. It's no longer in their hair in their head, and they're not thinking, oh, look at these notes in the script. It's now a new scene partner for them. So I don't know if I answered your question at all, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's funny. It's compassionate. And it's just I think a very moving play.
From what you're describing, I've only read it. I'm so thrilled to get to watch it. And of course I saw when WT did the production. And it just sounds to me like the perfect adventure space production.
Yes.
Like this is exactly the type of show. I know at ALT, people tend to associate the adventure space with edgy, language and, edgy material and things like that. And that's really not the case. It's really not the case. It's such a great space for productions exactly like this one that are just out of the box, both in plot, in set, and it's not just about edgy material.
Yeah. And I think too, it also fits in the space in regards to when you are doing something in the adventure space or in a smaller theater, the relationship between the audience and the performer is completely different than the main stage. You are you're breathing air differently. You are responding. Performers can see and feel the shifts that happen, and the audience impact the way the performers go. And I think that this space lends itself to that, because the audience will have hopefully no choice but to lean in, to listen, to experience it, and to feel what it is these characters are feeling in a completely different way than if it was on the main stage. So yeah, I completely agree with you. This play was meant for the adventure space.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons I love performing and seeing shows over there, is just because you feel like you're in it.
Yes.
Because it's so up close and personal. So you're in that separation that you get at the main stage really isn't there as much at the adventure space.
They are right there. In fact, we were in rehearsal last night, and where I was sitting, I was in the front row because I haven't been there, and all of a sudden we got to a point and I was like, oh, there's Stephen. Let me just scooch back, because I don't want to interfere with his acting and I want him to pretend I'm not here. But I'm also like, we're right there, So it's fun. As a director, I was like, oh, I don't want them to pay attention to me. Right. But I'm also like, they need to get used to this body sitting in the front row.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
I love that space.
I do too. Stephen, tell us about your position at WT and then about your role in 33 Variations.
I'm a professor of theater at WT. This is I'm finishing my 15th year teaching at WT. So I'm a full professor. I teach acting, voice and movement, stage combat, and I also direct in our season here. Yeah, that's me at WT. It's been a great run here. I'm still enjoying teaching, and I'm excited about the next generation of student. I am playing Ludwig von Beethoven, who everyone knows, and there's no introduction for that character needed, but it's a really challenging role because of the time frame that Beethoven is depicted, which is towards the end of his life, as he's sort of getting to the point of complete deafness and he's still trying to generate, new forms of music that are and inevitably become, transformational for modern music. So it's a real fun role to play. It is again just challenging and wears me out, but in a really, really good way. So, and I've so enjoyed working with this cast and Callie and Ken, and it's just been a really great experience to be back on stage.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Stephen. Sometimes when you guys direct or perform in shows for ALT, you get to also work alongside your own students from WT. I know that Noah, who's doing lights and costumes for 33 Variations, is your student as well, and Kenzie, who plays Clara Brandt in the show. Can you talk to me about what that's like for you guys?
I was thrilled to have Noah come back on to do costumes and lights for us. He just recently graduated. He's very successful in both of that. He has a great understanding of characters, and his analysis is always on point. And I was like, you know what? What are you doing? But it's been great. He understands, like, as a director, me working with him, we've done it before, and he just is so intuitive and gets it. And even when we were doing tech the past few nights, I look over and I'd be like, do something like this. And he's like, got it. And sure enough, he did it. Without me saying anything, he understood it.
Yeah.
But I think it's also wonderful because it's a sharing of knowledge in both places. When we have students come into ALT, when ALT gets to work with some of our students, we get to experience these two amazing communities come together. And it's never one over the other or one being better than the other. It is supporting each other and encouraging each other. And they really do, because we have a wonderful mix for this. It's wonderful watching them uplift each other, ask questions, discover new things, and just to kind of see everyone in a different light. Because we have to change our roles too. So even though I know Noah, I've had him in class, he is my designer at this point. And so it's another opportunity for them to realize what it's like getting out into a professional world, about what friendships are like, but what professionals are like. And even though I've got a student in the show, I have two in the show, they are not my students. They are actors in that. And, Stephen and I have a different relationship, and it's been wonderful working with Stephen. So again, it's knowing those boundaries, and for students to realize they have two professors and how we navigate it. As in, you're an actor, you're a designer. We're not talking about classes. We're not talking about what we've done in the past. I treat you no different than an ALT community member coming in, because you are all the same. You're bringing in your talent, you're bringing your work ethic. So it's been fun. And I always love it when we can bring our two theaters together.
I do too. What about you, Stephen? Do you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a blast to get to kind of forget that, Kinsey and Liv are students that I currently have in class, and just, be with them in a different way. That is the fun, unique part of performing at ALT with students, because I enjoy that freedom. I enjoy the relationship change, and I really benefit from watching them work in that way, in that environment, versus here at WT. I don't know, it gives me new perspective on them as people and as burgeoning artists. It's just really cool.
I love that. It makes me think of, like, when I was in elementary school, if we ever went to the grocery store and I saw a teacher there, out of context, it was like, you go to the grocery store.
You don't just stay in that classroom. Isn't that
right? You exist outside of this bubble that I normally see you in. I love that for your students, that they get to sort of see you out of context of WT and get to experience their relationship with you in a totally different light. When I was chatting with cast members on Thursdays at 3 last week, I asked them what they thought the theme of the show was. And they said redemption and relationships. Callie, what would you add to that? And then Stephen, I'll ask you the same question after.
You started down that tangent, and I was like, she's going to ask me, and I don't know if I have an answer for that theme. I I see redemption. And what else did they say? Redemption. Relationship.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna say this because it's one of the moments that I truly love, and it comes near the end of the play, and also I think just where I'm at in my life.
Yeah.
I think one of the themes is hope.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, for hope for almost all the characters, they have a hope in something, for someone or an element, and I think for me it's hope right now.
Something we could all use.
Yeah.
To put it mildly, these days.
Yes.
What about you, Stephen?
I would probably, one of many themes, but I think I would say beauty. And I think because it feels like every character in the play is seeking peace through beauty in relationships, in music, in research, in, and I think beauty is something that as human beings, we struggle to put a finger on. And I don't know that we always are great at recognizing beauty in things, in each other, in life. And, having researched Beethoven as much as I have at this point, I truly believe, he was always seeking to create beauty, and he did that through immense struggle and difficulties and pain and isolation, and but he was committed to giving beauty to the world, and I think that as a musician, he kind of exemplifies that effort as of artists, of trying to create something that's beautiful, something that everyone can acknowledge and see and feel and connect with, and it makes them feel good. It makes them feel like life is worth living, and even amidst the pain and the struggle. And this play is about pain and struggle, undoubtedly, in two different worlds, really, that then intersect. And it's I think it's the beautiful moments that really make it mean something to those that are watching. And so I hope that's what audiences gain from it, along with other themes that have been mentioned.
It just sounds to me like the themes of this show are so incredibly relatable, even if you don't have a family member fighting a horrible disease, or you don't have a strained relationship with a family member, or whatever it is. Hearing you talk about what legacy you want to leave behind, and that sort of daily search for beauty in the world, and trying to leave the world better than you left it, and just all of these different things, and how you relate to the people around you. It sounds like something we could all use right now to sit down for a couple hours and get ensconced in a story with such relatable themes. So, I want to encourage everyone, don't be concerned about the fact that this is at the Adventure Space. Don't be concerned about the fact that you may not have ever heard of this title before. I know people feel like they can kind of settle in if they've seen the movie, or if they've seen the play before, or have read a book about it, or anything like that. And I want to encourage people, hearing these incredibly relatable themes. I feel like anyone who goes to see this show is probably going to pull something different from the story as they walk away from it, that will be incredibly meaningful to them. And not just poignant moments. It sounds like comedic moments. And
yes, I mean, when you have people like Stephen and Jeremy Hernandez and Danny all get together, the three of them, they get into trouble a lot. I'm just gonna say that.
Love that.
Well,
No, there's a lot of laughter
yeah.
in the show, but also
Yeah.
outside of the show as well.
Yeah.
There's some great comedic moments that they get you like that. And there's some beautiful moments between a budding relationship as well with Clara and Mike that you're just like, buddy, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
was just going to say the play, it has as much human humor as any play I've been a part of, and but it kind of, the way it's framed and the way it delivers is so relatable, going back to what you said. And yeah, I mean, there's some hilarious moments that I think anybody would enjoy, combined with some really deep moments. And that's, to me, that's good theater. That's good drama.
Yeah. Not just heavy the entire time, but with these moments of levity that sort of give you a little bit of relief. I love that. Callie, can you talk to me about the dynamic between the characters in this play and how that translates into the dynamic between the actors in real life that you've seen throughout the process of rehearsal?
Well, I feel like I just kind of said a little bit of it.
Yeah, you did.
So we keep saying beautiful a lot because that is the show. One of the cool things is that it has two different time periods happening together, right? We've got 1819 to 1822-ish, and then the contemporary world. And they share the space. There's moments where Beethoven's in there with contemporary folks, and we're shifting and moving, right? Mm-hmm. So there's moments where we stick with contemporary worlds and go into to Beethoven's world. And it's funny is because the characters in either one of those worlds very much, I think, fit for their time, but also you have people who are ahead of their time in what they're discovering and what they're trying to fight for in life, or themselves. These characters are unique. They are human. All these characters they're all fighting for something or smarter than what they first give us. And then they have moments of great depth and humility and humanity. And then I've got a cast who just laughs the entire time. So, which is great. I couldn't ask for anything else. I truly feel that we have got a company that when they are on stage with each other, you can tell that there's a great amount of respect amongst the two actors or three actors, however many. When they are all on stage, you can feel that this is a company that supports each other and that is watching, like going, oh man, that was like, you can feel that support being given, which then in turn just makes the work of these characters, they're coming to life in a completely different way because of that. There is no one trying to one up each other unless we're supposed to, Diabelli, Schindler, unless these characters are supposed to be that way. They're just human. And yeah, the cast has been a complete joy to work with. I joke sometimes as we would take a break, especially when lines were being learned, and I'm like, okay, y'all, let's take a quick 5. And then it was just silence in the theater because they're all like reviewing everything. They were so determined to be off book as soon as they could, so that they could just keep playing with each other and keep experimenting and keep playing. And so that was great. And now we got to the point where there's no longer quiet breaks. We are all chit-chatting, we are all laughing. They're all engaging in something, in some kind of shenanigans, which is again great. If they can have that relationship off stage and build that community and that level of respect and support, the audience reap the benefits of it. Because then they just see characters who are present fully and completely and engaging in what is happening. And it is my hope that even though we're going to have audience members who will recognize many of these characters, or these actors, I should say, from previous shows, that they will not see their friends or those previous characters, but the ones present either in the 1800s or contemporary, because these actors have just been phenomenal.
I love to hear that. Hearing you talk about the dynamic between the characters and just more on the plot of the show, it's just kind of hitting me in the face that Despite the hundreds of years between, the human experience is the human experience. The human struggle is the human struggle. The things we're yearning for, the things we're longing for, the things we want out of life aren't very different.
Yeah.
Even so many years later.
Yeah. And exactly. And it's also too, is that you have these characters at specific times that start to realize that this is the moment that matters. Or let me just live in this moment right now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be seen this way. I want to be treated this way. Or you know what? I don't care what's going to happen in 10 years and 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
This right here, this is what I'm living for. And I think we as a collective human race sometimes forget that, going off of also what Stephen was talking about with beauty and where you can find it and where it's there, is we also don't take time, because we live in a sense of urgency and a sense of rushing and a sense of now, we got to get it done. Instead of just taking that breath, seeing the beauty, realizing that this moment is a moment worth remembering because the people that you're with, because of the sunset, the beauty that is surrounded you. And I think this play, very subtly, honestly, I think it's a very subtle, pay attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't rush through this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Allow yourself that breath. Allow yourself this moment with that one person, because it's going to be over before you realize it.
I think that's
right.
Like it's like the inevitability of the temporariness of life, and just kind of embracing that and trying to find joy or forgiveness or happiness or fulfillment in every moment. That speaks power, I think, in this play.
To me, that is what art is about.
Mm-hmm.
That is what specifically theater is about for me, is seeing something on stage that you can relate to or that you can learn from. See someone going through something, maybe take a piece away in case you ever need that lesson for yourself. Understanding more about what makes life worth living, understanding what makes human beings tick, what do they want, what are they fighting for, and then walking back into the world with that little piece being carried with you. It sounds like this is sort of the perfect amalgamation of all the things to be able to take away back out into the world. Stephen, can I ask you, when was the last time you performed in general?
I performed in our WT production of Our Town in 2019, so 6 years ago.
My gosh. And then your last ALT performance was
with you in Frankenstein
in
which
2016,
was 9 years ago,
which is just can't. I have to ask you, overall, how has the process been for you to perform again in general, but to perform again at ALT? And then what does it mean to you to have an opportunity to act again?
A lot. I always enjoy performing at ALT, and I had 2 shows that I did kind of back to back at ALT about 9 years ago, and just it had been a while since I had performed at ALT when I was able to work with on those 2 productions, and it was such a joy. There's just something really creative. It just feels like you can go in and play and explore. And I really was eager to get back to that kind of environment. And this play just has always spoken to me. I did work on this production about 11 years ago at WT, and it spoke to me as powerfully then. And so when the opportunity to come back to it in an acting way, I was, it just intrigued me. And of course, I was really eager to to tackle whichever role that I could, feasibly play. But Beethoven really did stand out as just a really challenging, dynamic, different kind of, very iconic role to tackle. And I'm always eager for an acting challenge. And I think coming back to ALT now 9 years later as an actor, I feel like I've learned a lot as a human, and as a teacher and as an artist and director and so on, that I feel supporting me in new ways. You know what I mean? So I'm really grateful that I had this opportunity, that Callie gave me the opportunity to come in and explore my craft in a way that I haven't in a while. This role means an awful lot to me because it, in preparing for it, I really have come to value just how committed and artistic and tortured Beethoven was. He did not live a very glamorous life, but yet he created such amazing things for the world, And so to get to play somebody like that is very complicated and torn up from the inside in a lot of ways, damaged, but yet still striving and yearning for creative expression and art. Who wouldn't want to play that role? So I'm just humbled by the chance to do it. And ALT is a really, I feel, safe and great place for me to do that,
I'm so glad to hear that. Hearing you talk about Beethoven's life and how unglamorous it was and what he contributed, I feel like what an inspirational story for the younger generation, especially, who is inundated online with aesthetic looking lives and people posting what looks so ideal and perfect, and here is this tremendous artist who contributed so much to the world of music that it's fully ensconced in our culture. And he lived this sort of crushing kind of existence in a lot of ways from what you're describing.
He went through it. And he just, never stopped. I mean, this play about the variations, he worked for over 3 years trying to write, all these variations on this one theme of music, this waltz. And he kept coming back to it, kept wanting to create more and create more and create more. And it was like something in him just, and it's Catherine's story, which I love. Jamie's doing such a great job. It is, the desire and the need to get to the answers of something in research while dealing with similar physical, ailment, disease. The parallels are just unbelievable. And I think the audience hopefully will really value that experience of just watching two people in two different worlds share so much, what they're doing.
And persevering. Callie, what has this particular process taught you? Have you learned anything new while directing the show, or many things?
I mean, it's when I talk to my directing class, one thing that I always tell them is that you should, as a director, my personal belief is that I should never approach the same play, or I should never approach a play the same way, because each play needs to speak to you as a director, and that's how you should guide the process, whatever that may be. And so to me, every production that I get to work on, I have the opportunity to work on, I always know that I'm going to have struggles. I'm going to have moments of and not knowing. But I also recognize that through the not knowing, the answers will come.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with this show in particular, it definitely has not been an exception. One of one thing that is very unique about this show, that again, I just didn't really truly, I don't know if I appreciated it until it happened, was again, Jim coming with the music. Because in the script, Moises says there's another character and it's the music. And you're like, okay, yes, we see it. We know it's going to get played.
Uh-huh.
Great. We know all the variations are going to be there.
Sounds like an arty thing to say.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, we know this.
Right.
But this particular play, again, going off of even what Stephen was talking about with Beethoven's life, was that hearing the variations and how Moises picked the variation to go into which certain point emphasizes exactly what I think Stephen was talking about with Beethoven and how he created this beauty and representing all of this. Because you hear that and you're like, oh, this is funny, and it correlates with what's going on, but it truly brings out the power of music and art, and how the right piece can really transcend the audience, but also the actors in how they're performing. I'm trying to say stuff without spoiling things, because I really, truly want the audience to see this and not be like, I don't want to watch a show about Beethoven. Well, you do, because more than just that. But you get the fact that you get to hear these variations and the original theme. The fact that they work with moments in both Beethoven's life and Catherine's life. And it's how I don't know. I guess for me, like, this one was just the beauty of music and sound, and how it can, like I said, transcend, reiterate, reinforce, create the beauty, and how not just music, but art in general, how it can impact all of us in our daily lives. And I think that was one of the bigger challenges, like, as a whole. And then the other challenge of me is going, how I'm in this space with this set platform, and I need to create a runway, and how do I make these actors walk around the space so it doesn't look boring and unique and exciting, right? Because of the shape of it and what we were trying to do. So, like, technically there were challenges. But as, once again, the company I set the bar here and they're up here with all of that. And while
we're talking about the 33 variations themselves, and feel free to say, like, oh, just wait till you see the show, like me. I definitely don't want to give anything away. I don't think I will. But for anyone who doesn't understand 33 variations, so talk to me about the original theme. And why would Beethoven write all of these different variations on this theme?
So we hear about this right off in the beginning of the play. There's a composer, music, or a publisher of music named Anton Diabelli, and he writes a simple waltz. It's not a very good waltz. Many people will tell you it is, like, not just like historians will tell you it's not a very good waltz. And he was just like, hey, composers out there, take my waltz, create a variation on it, do something fun with it. And then he was just going to put them into a book, and he was hoping for a few. And Beethoven decided that a few was not enough. And as Stephen was saying, 3 years, he was obsessed with this simple little theme, which we do hear. And he takes it. And you really, the best way for you to understand what he did is to actually see the show. Because both Catherine talks about it, Beethoven talks about it, and Schindler, his assistant, like they go exactly, they answer that question, Annika, because that's like Beethoven's world is, why does he keep writing these variations? What's so important about it? And then Catherine wants to know, why is he so obsessed with this waltz? It's not very good. And so the entire show, Beethoven obsessed with writing variations of this waltz by Diabelli. The entire show, Catherine trying to figure out, why is Beethoven so obsessed with it? Underlining, there's more to life than just that. And so the waltz and the variations speak to all that Steve and I have been talking about, I think, today with you is humanity, is joy, is beauty, is hope, is redemption. That sometimes the mediocre can surprise you.
And I think because Beethoven, the time frame that he's writing this was while he was writing probably two of his most significant works ever.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
His Mass, the Missa Solemnis, and the Ninth Symphony.
Oh my!
And so that, like, these two pieces of work were so transformative. So it's like the timing of this aligns with the moment in his creative life where he's generating the most profound music he's ever generated, and he's also profoundly deaf and can no longer hear his music except in his head. And so that to me is the coolest part about the story of the Variations, is the timing of it. And then like trying to then pick apart why, what is he trying to achieve? And Catherine's character does such an amazing, there's such a great opportunity to learn from her and through her eyes why, and I love that connection of what he was doing in the past and what she's discovering about him in the future. It's really cool.
Well, and gosh, we're talking about hope and inspiration. It's like, I feel like I can hear myself the next 10, 20 years going, oh, you think that's hard? Beethoven.
Get
over yourself.
I'm like,
Beethoven wrote all this incredible music while completely deaf. Get over yourself. Just humbling. It's humbling, incredibly humbling. Like, oh wow, I thought that was hard this morning. I guess it wasn't. Put it in perspective, and I'm actually kind of a weakling. Okay. Stephen, finally, what have you learned since taking on the role of Beethoven, and what will you take away from diving into this role? I know you personally, and I know you have taken a deep dive into Beethoven, so I'm so interested
just a little
to hear your
maybe a little too deep at times. Leanne will tell you. I think I have, first of all, learned or been reaffirmed that playing a character and acting is such a personally fulfilling thing. And that it is not, it really can bring a lot of inner joy. So that I've gained a lot in myself. This has been a really great moment for me in regards to just being an actor and embracing something that feeds me so much. And then just, accepting my own humanity, the reality of getting older, the reality of experiencing things, pain and stress and fear later in life as you get older. And so, I'm very close in age to Beethoven, surprisingly, as I'm playing him. And that's it. I don't know. Obviously my life is completely different, but it is teaching me that that our lives are precious and that we need to fill them with something meaningful, and so I have enjoyed just embracing that concept, just trying to wake up from the slog of work and life, and then say, I'm gonna learn something today. I'm gonna be kind to someone. I'm gonna cherish something, and those are the things that it's feeding me. And I'm it's changed me, I think, in a good way.
I'm so glad to hear that. What about you, Callie? Do you feel transformed through the process?
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
And it's always when you get to work on a play that deals with somebody's life, especially a well-known person or, someone that we can do research on, I think it just puts things in a new perspective. And, we all are experiencing our own thing right now in life. And that's also what's beautiful about this show is whatever it is you're experiencing, good or bad, there's a moment in this show that I think will speak to you and will reassure or reaffirm or give you comfort or be like, yeah, you know what, you can be mad for the next 30 seconds about this, but also recognize the beauty that's there, the hope that's there. And so I just, every night when I watch the show or, I always hear a line I'm familiar with it, but it always speaks to me differently. And that's what I live for, is to hear that moment where you're like, oh, I felt that tonight. And what am I going to take with that? And what is that going to do to me tomorrow or the next week? Or when can I just take that moment to have that breath and realize it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Or, you know what? It's okay to try and discover something, but don't lose sight of what's also important. And I think that's also relevant, is we can get so obsessed with something that we miss the small moments.
Oh, isn't that so true? That is so true.
So that's kind of where I've been living for a while.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
And
what a privilege as directors, as performers, to be put in the position to tell stories in this way and to dig into someone else's life, especially characters like you said, that can be researched. There's an added pressure in a way there when we're talking about a real person and you're not creating a character from scratch.
Yeah.
Especially when you care as much as I know you both do. And how amazing that people are going to start to get to experience, starting tonight, preview night, that incredible feeling of sitting in a theater and being touched by something you maybe didn't expect to be touched by, and being able to translate that into your life and what you can take away. And then for the actors to be able to be in that position to have the power to do that. Incredibly privileged position to be in. I have been looking forward to this interview so much, and it did not disappoint for me. Thank you both so much. I know how busy you are. I really appreciate you taking an hour out of your incredibly busy lives right now to chat with me. And I want to wish you the very, very best on your opening weekend. And it's time for people to see this show. I'm so excited for people to get to experience this and for you to finally open your show. Guys, that is it for Thursdays at 3 today. My special thanks to Callie, Hisek, and Stephen Crandall for joining me to chat about this very important show. Make sure to get your tickets, 806-355-9991, or head over to our website at amarillo-littletheater.org. Again, students are always buy one, get one free, and tickets to tonight's preview night, Thursday night, the 10th, are also buy one, get one free. So there's no excuse to miss this show. And don't forget, season tickets for our incredible 98 season will go on sale on Monday, April 14th at 10 a.m. With such a blockbuster season, our shows will most certainly sell out. So you're going to want to get your season tickets. Season ticket holders have the opportunity to get their tickets at least a week ahead of the general public. So you'll want to make sure and grab those. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and we will see you right back here next week. Guys, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Annika.
Thank you, Annika. Bye. Bye.